video today is live streaming, and I'm trying this function out on YouTube, where I was thinking I can have sometime this live session. So my today's like the whole idea is that I walk you guys through first session on this video is about I'm going to talk about the algae as the fish feed ingredient, and here I will walk you guys through about whatever are things you need to know if you want to use that um, algae as the fish feed ingredient and why you need to do it at the first place. So my whole conversation in this first session will go like that. And meanwhile, when now I am live, so you probably will be getting notifications. And whenever you want to jump in the conversation, you can come in and then you can actually write your questions on the side on this live stream. And then I can answer those questions in the last 5 to 10 minutes. So this is how we are going to approach this conversation today. So first of all, uh, why you need to use this microalgae or macroalgae or different type of algae, or why you need to do that is because first of all, many fish recipes, feed recipes, they really rely on this fish meal, especially for the carnivores fish, for trout and for salmon and even for shrimp. People are really using fish meal as the integral ingredient. And as you know, that the fish meal uh, is uh, is a limiting resource. There are other species of the fish out there in the ocean which do need the fish meal, and they do need the fish to eat, but we convert them into fish meal and then we have to use it in the feed or other uses, which cannot go on for many years to come because this is a limited resource. So this is one of the, you can say this is one of the reason behind this. So you have to replace fish meal, and to replace fish meal you need an ingredient which give you protein, which give you fat, which give you a great amount of you can say omega-3. You can you need to have some ingredient which can replace it and have the also the same amino acid profile. For example, we can use the all plants in the fish feed, but why we cannot do that is because some of the properties we cannot replace. Fish meal have this methionine, have this lysine and tryptophan. So these are type of the amino acids which you cannot manage with only plant. So in this scenario, how do you replace this with different ingredients? That is what we are thinking about here. And algae is one of the ingredient which is the candidate to do that. And how do you do that? So I walk you through. Normally you might have heard about a lot about microalgae also. Of course I put the picture of that in the thumbnail. And then normally you have two types of algae: macroalgae and microalgae. So macroalgae is it's like is in a large size. It looks like plants. If you go out for a walk by the water, uh, by the ocean or fjord or sometime by some river, so you see these plants which are look like sea plants. They are normally around the shore. So they are basically the type of macro seaweed. So, and on the other hand, the micro, this micro algae is like the phytoplanktons. These are very small bacteria size bacteria size organisms, which you often might have seen as the green color in the tube. So this is the microalgae. So and so there are also, of course, many different varieties of these microalgae and also macroalgae. And as I already talked about this, their amino acid profile. So they do have lysine, methionine, threonine, and tryptophan. Some of these amino acids, which are extremely important for the fish feed, and that you normally get from the fish meal. So their amino acid profile is generally quite good. And one of the other thing you need to understand, you see, uh, in the nature, you see trout and salmon, how they get their red color, how they not the red exactly, like the pink color, how they get their pinkish color is through these microalgae. So they eat special type of microalgae, and these are found in the nature. That's how their color is like that. And in the farm settings, people produce this microalgae by cultivating, by you can say farming this microalgae, which gives this uh, pink color, and then people use it in the feed. And this is and this is the thing you have, astaxanthin. So this astaxanthin is this pink color compound or the pigment, which gives the fish its pink color for the salmonids. So this is generally related to this its pigment, its functionality, and then you also have to understand that one of the major source why people eat fish is because, like, or they think they have this omega-3 in the fish, in the farm fish. So where comes this omega-3 in the farm fish come from? That comes from the fish meal you use in the fish feed. So in this way, you get your omega-3, you get your EPA and DHA. These are the polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are important for your growth and for your health. So this is why it's so important that the fish have this, or it's like culturally or traditionally important thing that fish have to have omega-3, because people think it's a source of omega-3. So in this scenario, if you're not using the fish meal, algae is important thing which you can important ingredient which you can use to replace that as well. So, and also if you see this small baby fish in the nature, and also some people use that in the hatchery, they use this rotifers, they use this copepods, and this type of small organisms as the feed, and they have the microalgae in their gut, in their body. So that's how the baby fish, they take this up, and then they can eat it. So this is one of the way. And what is the next thing? Commercially, what you have available. So commercially, you have this. When it comes to the microalgae, you might have seen this small capsules. People also use that for some stomach issues. Spirulina. So spirulina is one of the basic microalgae which is commercially available. And then you have chlorella, and then you have this dunilella. So this is, I don't know how to pronounce this so correctly, but spirulina and chlorella is very common ones. And They are often, you find them in the form of powder also. So, and on the macroalgae side, you have laminara, and the most common, the laminara is green, I think, yes, green. And the brown rockweed is something you might have also seen a lot. So this is at least I see it quite often. So this is the macroalgae, and then you have the microalgae. As I said previously, they are come in the powder form. And then how much do you need to use this in your feed if you are doing it? So of course, many of the fish feed recipes, you use quite a lot of fish meal, but when it comes to replacing, you have to do it step by step. And in this case, I would say it really depends on the which species you are replacing it with, that what is the nutritional profile you want to uh, kind of replace, and what you have it in your mind. So in this scenario, I would say you have to be careful. You have to know which species you are using. Of course, the cost is an important aspect of it as well. But I would say you can safely go from 2 to 3%, depending on the species, of course, and you can go all the way to 5% in the feed. And even in the commercial settings, there are companies working to sell this microalgae, algae oil, even. So, but it's not like they are replacing it significantly. It is just going like a very small percentage. We're talking about 2 to 3%, 1 to 2%, like that. So this is what you need to understand. And also on the nutritional profile side of the things, it has 50 to 55% protein. The fat is ranging from 15 to 20%. And then you have, uh, of course, the other properties like amino acids in that. And other than that, you have uh, this some of the issue which can happen is the binding issue. So binding issue might happen, and for that you might need to use binder. But I hope when you are using some wheat maybe, or some other ingredient with a high starch profile, then you might also solve this problem with the binding. And of course, the technology also plays an important role, if which type of extruder you are using. So these are some of the important things. So now I think this education part is over related to this algae. And if you have any questions, do send me. And now is this question and answers session. So here I also put this on the chat. So if you have some questions and answers, if you have some questions, please ask me. I will take them here. But other than that, I'm also thinking about to do this live sessions regularly, by doing the notification in advance, so that you know that I'm coming live, and then we can have more proper conversation, which can flow both ways. But for today, I think I just had this idea. Somebody was also asking about how to replace fish meal, so I came up with this. So, but I can continue more on this discussion. Meanwhile, I can wait a little bit for the questions if there are. So the thing is, you also have this insect meal, and insect meal is also, people are discussing it as the source of replacement, when you want to replace fish meal. So, but the thing is that the insect meal you can replace only when it comes to covering the protein side of your nutritional profile of your fish. But when it comes to covering other aspects, you need to consider other ingredients like, so this is really it's really depends what you are replacing it for. So insect meal, of course, could become very interesting candidate for replacing the protein. And of course, then you have other bioproduct meals coming in the mainstream, which are also important. So these are some of the things. But I will just maybe, if there is no question coming at this point, do send me by the email, the question, or by comment. Then I can try to create a live session around that. And of course, I have been not answering all the questions which I have been getting on the email and also on the comments, but I'm trying to improve this, and I will improve this. But let's stay in touch, and thank you very much for today. And hope it will stay on the channel, so you can watch it later and ask me the questions. But we are going to end this stream. So thank you very much.